That's what we want to do here. We want to take you to the next level. We want you to achieve your goals.
It's Fred Talk, the awesome podcast featuring awesome people. Visit us online at FXVDigital.com or your favorite social networks at FXV Digital. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. I am your host, Freddie Vasquez, and with me is my producer and cuter half, Angie Wicks. Tonight, we have the honor of talking to one of my great friends in the area. He does God's work, let's say. Right here in the Reading, Pennsylvania area, my man, Alec Reinert, is here talking to us today from the Olivet Boys and Girls Club of Reading, Pennsylvania. What's up, Alec?
Not much. How are you, Freddie? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. We're chilling, just hanging out, you know. Had another crazy and eventful day here at FXV Digital Design. How about you?
Every day feels crazy. It's busy. It's a good thing.
Busy is a great thing, dude. So, you know, I know all about Olivet, you know, Boys and Girls Club, all the great things you guys do here in the area. But with everything that's been happening the past year and a half, is it good to feel like things are getting back to normal? You know, how the office is doing, how the kids doing? Like, fill us in, bro.
Yeah, I think, you know, everything over the last 15 months now, with the pandemic breaking, it definitely feels like we're closer to some sense of normalcy, whatever that means now after all this time. I think it's really important for the youth. You know, we've been incredibly blessed and fortunate, you know, through the community and our supporters and our donors, our grantors, just all the people in Berks County that make Berks County what it is and show up for each other. We have been lucky enough, you know, no layoffs, no furloughs, for the most part have really kept our doors open even to the youth. Unfortunately for a little bit there we couldn't, but I think that, you know, morale is up. You know, our big thing through this entire time has been hope lives at Olivet. And you know, it's hope for the community, hope for the youth, hope for the families that, you know, that we work with. And it's certainly a team effort. You know, we don't do it alone. It's not a one man or one woman team. It's next man up, next woman up, and the community has just been terrific. So I think being able to open our clubs back up, you know, remote learning's different for us. You know, it's been all about pivoting, and just overcoming obstacles and pushing forward. So I think that the youth being back in the club, seeing their staff, their club directors, our line staff, our AmeriCorps staff, you know, they're the everyday real heroes up front, you know, with the kids 24/7. I think it's really important for the kids and the youth of Reading and Berks County to, you know, be back in school, be back in these clubs, you know, and not just at Olivet. There's 84,000 kids under the age of 18 in Berks County.
Wow.
So,
well, how the kids feeling, man? Like, you're there. I know you see them on a daily basis. What's the vibe like?
Yeah, I mean, I think now it's different. In the beginning, I think there was a lot of uncertainty, kind of scared. You know, with all the new stuff that came out and these kids, you know, they couldn't be in school. There were no sports. They couldn't go outside. You know, you would drive past the local playgrounds and caution tape, no basketball rims. I mean,
it's insane.
Yeah, the things that these youth love to do. Now I think there's definitely some optimism. You know, I think our youth have been very excited. They know that summer camp is coming up, and fortunately, you know, us along with so many other people can have summer camp and, you know, keep our doors open and give these youth a safe place to come and, you know, just hang out and be kids.
Which is so important, dude. You know, it's so important to have these kids doing something. You know, that was one of the crazy things during the whole lockdown quarantine thing was, you know, people were like, you know, be safe and all these crazy things. But I was like, wow, you know, like, what are the kids going to do? You know, and when you were sending me the updates for the website and it was like, oh, you know, like you guys opened up for a little bit, then you had to close down again. I can only imagine what these kids are going through. And you know, and I've said this before, you know, a few times, people forgot the mental part of this whole thing. Like, it's not just about people dying. I mean, that's a bad part about it, and it's you know, it's unfortunate, it's terrible. But the mental ramifications, and we're talking about kids, you know, like adults, you know, we can handle our stuff, you know, for the most part, you know, but as far as like kids, you know, like, you know, it's definitely not a good thing, you know, in my opinion. So It's good that you guys are able to open up now. Are you guys at 100% yet? Is there still like rules in place?
Yeah, so we're not at 100% capacity. We are still following the CDC and WHO guidelines. I think summer camp will, I want to say maybe closer to 50 to 75%. But even with Reading School District opening back up, where the majority of our youth are from, they've had a couple shutdowns since, 2 days here, 3 days there. Some of our clubs have had shutdowns, and it's just ultra, abundance of caution, being careful, being safe. Unfortunately, we had some youth and family members and staff who, came down with COVID, and luckily most of them made a full recovery. But I think just the entire mindset of, they came back, and then it was this school closed or that school closed, or we had to close the clubs down. And I think that level of uncertainty, but luckily, even when those things have happened, then we went to virtual programming and mentoring outside, where you could be a little more, socially distanced. And I just think it's a whole new atmosphere. And I know for me, even, the days our office were closed and working remotely, this is new for me as an adult. And then I think about some of these kids that 6, 7 years old, and they're trying to learn on a laptop, and do math. And then you're trying to encourage them to, it's good on your breaks. You can go on YouTube, you can go on the internet. But just, being kind of stuck behind a computer screen all day, and then coming up with creative ways that we could get them up and moving and just physically active. So it's definitely been a whirlwind. And I know for myself as an adult, so I can't even imagine what it's like for these kids.
Yeah, and I am a big believer in Zoom sucks. I can't stand it. I don't have a really good relationship with Zoom. I have no love for it. I know it's needed in certain situations, but nothing will ever beat human contact, human one-on-one. I even do consulting, and people are like, well, let's just jump on Zoom. I'm like, no. And they think, and some people are like, why not? I'm like, because I said so. Yeah. Because I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're talking about. Like, unless you're in like another state or continent, get in person. That's where the magic happens, because vibes are different. There's no vibe through Zoom. Yeah. It's just not at all. I'm in a networking group where we did Zoom in the very beginning, like March, April, May, whatever it was. Then it got warm out, and I was like, let's do it outside. And we started doing them outside. And ever since we started doing them outside, we've been doing meetings in person. And we're still doing meetings in person. And the group as a whole, if anything, is stronger because we took the time to hang out with each other, even if it was outside or just socially distanced, whatever the case is. Nothing will ever replace human contact, human interaction, being around people. It's just how we work. Yeah. So I don't know how you tell kids to get off their computers. And they grew up in this world where it's like, my kid doesn't know life without the internet. So like I could only imagine how hard of a hurdle you guys have to get these kids off their butts.
Yeah. I think I might be one of the last of that generation of, the streetlights just came on. I better get my butt in the house. My mom and dad are telling me, streetlights, it's time to come in. But
you guys have streetlights out here?
Yeah. Good. In little old Leesport, we had some streetlights over there.
In New York, it was like every other few feet.
But that's honestly, cool. I think Zoom fatigue is real. We joke about it on our board meetings, our committee meetings. There's so many of us that are just, we're ready to get back in person.
Yes.
But because we have youth services and there's so many kids in our building, we have to be mindful and careful. And just with not only remote learning, but the vaccination clinics that we're holding for those residents, youth and families who want to get vaccinated, the deep cleaning of the buildings and making sure we're, you exit one side, you enter the other. We're wiping all the surfaces down. And even think about that when this started. We didn't know anything. And it became, it's airborne, it's on surfaces. If somebody sneezes, you're in trouble. If you're outside at the wrong time, it just has evolved. And I actually joked with my parents and said, man, I never thought I'd see anything like this in my lifetime.
Right.
And they looked at me and said, well, we haven't seen anything like this in our lifetime. No one knew what to do. So you think about, you know, some of these kids, school is their escape. You know, Olivet Boys and Girls Club or their local other agencies and nonprofits, that's their escape from their harsh reality. And that's something that I think has been big when you talked about the mental health. You know, you get these kids coming up and you're handing them meals, and before they can turn around and walk away, they're, you know, scarfing them down. They're coming to you and saying, oh, you know, my mom or my dad, my guardian, my aunt, whoever it might be, they're at work all day, or, you know, they lost their job, so they're out searching for a job. And then unfortunately, you see the, you know, the sad and ugly side of things. And unfortunately, you know, you're forced to see and hear things, and then, you know, filing child line reports. And, you know, because it's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional. You know, these kids, some of them are abused or you know, large families, and they can't escape, you know, that reality. And school and sports and Olivet may have been that for them. So it's definitely been tough to adapt and overcome, but you see the resiliency of these youth. And, you know, I walk into the club some days, and I always try to take the approach that you don't bring outside life into work with you, but inevitably we're all human and it happens. And there's this little guy at one of our clubs, and every time I see him, he just lights up. And I think he met me twice. Probably couldn't tell you my name, but every time I see him, it gives me that renewed sense of hope that, you know, if this little guy at 7-8 years old can come in with a smile on his face and you know, do this remote learning, and he's there every day, no matter what we're doing, whether it's, you know, food distribution, educational programming, trying to get our recreation stuff back up and going. And then it infects all of us in the office. You know, it goes around from, you know, our admin staff at the front desk to myself to, you know, all the way up through Chris, you know, our CEO. And it puts a smile on your face and just puts it in perspective that, you know, we're going to be okay and we're going to get through this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the kids are the best part of all of it. I mean, you know, for me, being able to do the awesome toy drive and help you guys out with gifts, people really just don't understand how lucky they are, like, at all. They sit there and they complain about the internet going out, or they complain about, okay, they complain about cancel culture, like, why is it, like, why do people do this and why do people do that, and Trump flags and Biden flags, and you have no idea how lucky. The fact that you can actually sit there and complain about something makes you lucky, I think. Because reading these lists during the holidays of what these kids are asking for, I mean, it's just like, come on, people. Like, you need to just stop your belly aching. These kids going through all these things, and like you just said, but they still show up, smiles in their faces. Why is it that children are so optimistic? Right. And we're just like, oh, woe is me. It's the end of the freaking world.
Yeah, I was lucky and fortunate enough with a couple other members in our admin office that we were the ones that got to collect those lists. And you start looking through them, and you see some of the typical things, the V-Bucks, the Fortnite gift cards, but some of the ones that really take you back. And I remember as I was sending them to you and putting the club name with it, and I remember a couple times looking at it, and the little boy, and he put his name on there, and I happened to get to meet him because, unfortunately for me, I started Olivet a week before the pandemic broke. So I haven't met a lot of the youth or know them by name, but you look and what do you want for the holidays this year? If you could have anything you want. I want a gift card for my mom to go out and get herself new clothes. I think a grocery gift card would be great because I know my mom and my siblings need food on the table. And you sit there and you just think, like, and it's hard not to get choked up.
Well, forget it, man. I won't even tell you.
And then we have the awesome toy drive, and I had other staff and directors at the club and other people in the community who said, we've never seen anything like this. This is the best year we've ever had. And I don't think it really hit me until our director of operations, Deja Harris, came in and said, Alec, you don't get it. Like, this is the best thing that's ever happened, the best holiday we've ever had. And you start going down the list, and I could probably name them all, but I would feel really bad if I left someone off the list. But just, again, the amount of community partners and the people that came out and put up for you and this awesome toy drive. And I still have kids that come up and say, hey, we doing this again. Hey, that was, again, hope.
Oh, we'll do it again. Don't you freaking worry about that, bro.
You have this awesome toy drive, and then you take that and you have people like Gary Redner and the Redner's Warehouse Market teams who provided holiday meals, and Sabrina Elmarzuki through Queen City and Heidelberg Restaurant who provided meals to our satellite sites. And, we helped over 500 youth have some sense of normalcy celebrating a holiday. Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it may have been, they celebrated something, and that gave them hope because someone out there, they see it, they care. And that's our big thing is, again, hope lives at Olivet. And stuff like that is how we tell our story. And, your support and the support of our other partners and what these kids see is someone believes in us. They care about us. They know we're here.
So the community does care, dude. Because a lot of people said thank you, and I appreciate that. Believe me, but I'm just a vessel, man. I didn't go out and buy all these gifts myself. I mean, if I could, I would. Don't get me wrong. But the community comes together. Mm-hmm. And a lot of small business owners helped out with that, by just letting me put trees in their places of business, But the community comes out, man. Yeah. So this is a great place to live. I know a lot of the times if you're a newsreader, all you see is the bad stuff that's coming out of this place. But, man, there's a lot of good here. A lot of love here.
Absolutely.
People want to help each other out. So, I mean, of course we're going to do that again this year. Like, I can't wait to get all the lists, and do it all over again. I mean, yeah, man, my goal is to double every year. So
it's incredible.
That's what we want to do. And we'll make it happen for these kids because you're right, man. Getting choked up was normal for me, and I don't know. Did you have the kid that was, because we helped like 4 different places, but one of the kids wrote, I just want my mom to be happy.
Yes.
That was you guys?
Yes.
Man, Jill and I, we were sitting here, and she pulled out that ticket, like we had it on ornaments, and she showed me. I was like, Jesus.
I think that Jill mentioned that the day that you guys came to Oakbrook and did the drop-off, and we split them all up in the gym. And I remember just the look on her face, and you could tell she was fighting it. And I had already gone through the roller coaster of emotions.
I was going to cry like 2 minutes ago. I was like,
yeah,
Jesus,
right,
Alec.
right. It's one of those things that I looked at your wife's face, and I could see it when you were delivering the toys, what it meant, And not only were there toys, I mean, they were organized and perfectly stacked. And
that's all Joe.
and the names were there and the tags, and I looked at her and you think about that, like, I just want my mom to be happy. And look, dude, every day I think about it. I want my wife, my daughter, my mom, my dad, my family, my friends to be happy.
Sure.
But to write that as the only thing that you wanted.
There's nothing else on that list.
No, that was it.
Yeah, that's all he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to guess.
Yeah.
And of course, we got him something, but yeah.
It's amazing what, really any kid, when you sit back and really, 30,000-foot view, what these kids teach us. I've learned so much about myself from watching these youth and interacting at our, whether it's at the club and I'm filling in for a staff who's out, or our food distributions or vaccination clinics, and these kids just come up and, oh, thank you so much. Well, for what? Oh, you held the door for me. Oh, you provided us with a meal that we otherwise might not have had, and you're just like, man, like, I need to take a step back and really look at myself in the mirror. I want to be like this little guy or this little girl,
Yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be like them.
Yeah, I want to be with such great manners.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, manners are eluding people these days. You can learn so much from these kids. I envy your job, man. I envy that you get to do that. Marketing is cool and web design and all that stuff, but I feel like, you're here for a purpose, And I think that's very cool that your job, is to help kids and help the community. That's, and my wife asked me that question the other day. She's like, what's your purpose, man? She's like, what is your purpose? Like, what are you supposed to do? And it was a heavy question, but I remember just being able to say, like, I just want to help people. I think you're there, and I'm like looking inside myself, not trying to figure out how can I make that a career move next for me.
That's
like,
awesome.
How do I get to help people?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's amazing, the stuff that Olivet's doing. So now that, we're getting close to the new normal, as you want to call it, are you guys doing anything new? Like, are you looking to like kick off, the newness with anything that we need to know about?
So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is this year we have the ability and a little bit more freedom that we can safely announce that we'll have our two, annual fundraisers.
Yes.
There are certainly times out there in a nonprofit you're always raising money, and my job as a VP of development is every day, donors, grantors, special events. We live it, we breathe it. But I think it's super exciting to announce that this year it'll look a little different than in years past. We're usually indoors, in a ballroom and a little more formal setting. But because of the pandemic and some restrictions, on Thursday, June 17th, we will have our third annual Leaders and Legends dinner. That'll be down at First Energy Stadium, the Reading Phillies.
Right on.
And we'll have some youth honorees, our Youth of the Year, which is certainly, it's the highest honor that a youth can get as part of the Boys and Girls Club of America, and we are a chartered member of that. So a little shout out to Princess Lovett, our Youth of the Year. Not only did she become the Olivet Youth of the Year, she recently became the Pennsylvania State Youth of the Year.
Amazing.
For the Boys and Girls Club. So we'll have some special events and speeches from her and our directors, Gary and Gary Redner and the Redner's Warehouse Market teams will be honored for everything they do in the community. And then our keynote speaker, Mr. Andre Reed, who a lot of people may recognize from Kutztown University, grew up in Allentown as a Boys and Girls Club kid. He's going to be there, and he's got a lot of really good insight. And then we follow that up in short fashion this year, unfortunately. We usually like to spread them out a little more. But we'll have our annual Olivet Golf Invitational out at the Berkshire Country Club in August.
That's going to be awesome.
So I expect to see you there and maybe a hole-in-one or long drive this year.
Look, if I could just hit the ball, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So, with the newness, I think one of the big things with the golf tournament that we have is in years past, we, had a big cocktail party, invited people out, and it's a really fun night to come out and meet some of our youth and listen to them talk and find out what they're all about. This year, we're able to have that again. So Sunday, August 15th, out at the Berkshire Country Club will be our cocktail party, and then Monday, August 16th will be our Tea Time Golf Invitational. So, anyone who's listening, we'll be getting that information out soon for golf, and the dinner's out there. So, if you visit our website, olivetbgc.org, made by my good friend Freddie here, there are individual ticket forms out there and information. And, again, if you can't make it to an event or you're not sure, click on the volunteer link. Let's talk. Let's get you out. Let's have you experience what it's like to give back to some of these kids. And, a lot of great things coming up. And, with the newness, we can have volunteers again, which for a while we couldn't. So, we love our volunteers, and our kids love anytime somebody comes in to visit. So it's always a good time.
Well, let me know, man. I'm always down for coming in and talking to some if they want to listen to me. I mean,
well, we've had Slapshot's been out.
Oh, right on.
We've had a couple other characters, and mostly people from the school district. But I think now our board members, committee members can get more involved, and a lot of companies, which is crazy to think about during the pandemic. A lot of companies still showed up, on the United Ways Day of caring and getting out there and volunteering their time to help clean up clubs or read to kids or pack food distribution. And again, all over the county. It's incredible. So we're really excited about having some new fresh faces and some old volunteers back in the clubs.
Is there anything you have to do special to be a volunteer at Olivet?
I don't want to say anything special, but because we have the kids, we do need some background clearances. And we have a fantastic volunteer coordinator, Abby Frost. So when you go on the website or check us out on Facebook, there's a link right there to her email with her phone number. She'll get everybody all set up. It doesn't take long. You go and you get your background clearances, and then you kind of tell us, what do you enjoy? What do you like to do? And then we kind of try to set up with some of these special events, or again, the club events that we do for the youth, and just come out and have a really good time.
That's awesome. What are some of the things like, okay, I'm part of an awesome networking group, BCNA, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what could a networking group do for Olivet? Like, a one-off, a one day, or after the background checks and everything, what are some of the things that we could do?
Yeah, the possibilities are endless. But thinking, just on some things, we have some building projects that are going to be coming up, where we're replacing part of a gym, or maybe remodeling, demolishing part of one of our kitchens or offices. One of the things that really stands out recently is a result of the pandemic. While it will be a long-term and kind of forever project, as we started doing these new things, these vaccination clinics and food distributions and the virtual mentoring and things, you start to realize that not only was food insecurity, but for some of these kids, hygiene insecurity. So hygiene packs, and they needed clothes, or, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, someone lost their job and can provide. And you might have 7, 8, 9 kids in that household, in that family. So we started our care closets and what we now can call our hubs of hope, so people can come out and volunteer to, separate the items and kind of organize them. So, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, toothbrushes, toothpaste, socks, shoes, clothes, shampoo, conditioner, all the things that you could potentially need, for basic, hygiene needs. They can come out and help organize those. Club cleanups, whether it's inside, outside. So, they can come out and volunteer at our special events, helping register people, or run some raffles, or just basic informational handouts. Kind of whatever fits their want and their need, we can set them up with.
So tell me more about the hygiene. Now, you said, what's it called?
So we started out with the care closets, and then
care closets, okay.
They kind of morphed into what we call our hubs of hope now. So it's a lot of different programs, but the hygiene packs, the Olivet packs, is something that started as a Martin Luther King Jr. Day project.
Mm-hmm.
And we partner with local school districts, and whether they have a homeless liaison or guidance counselors, teachers that know youth who are in need, we set up these hygiene packs, and we'll deliver them to the school. They can come and pick them up. A lot of school districts, people don't necessarily think about it here in Berks County all the time. A homeless youth, it doesn't mean that they're, sitting out on the park bench or out in the street here. They might be couch surfing.
Mm-hmm.
They might not have an actual place to call home, or they're switching up residence with friends and extended family members. So that's really where all this started. And then through the pandemic, it kind of morphed into clothes and shoes, and then we saw a lot of mental health needs. So, we partnered with the BCIU and got some free mental health counseling through some grants. It's free of charge. And that's one of the greatest things about what we do at Olivet. We run pretty much every program or service that we offer is free or very, very low cost. So with that, then Andrew Thomas, who you met.
Yeah, great dude.
His mother, Lucy, worked at Olivet in development for a long time. Passed away tragically from cancer. And Andrew actually set up the Lucy's Light program, which is also part of this. So any youth in Reading and Berks County that's school-aged, if there's a tragic loss of a loved one for whatever cause it may have been, we provide grocery gift cards, warm meals through the Why Missing Family Restaurant, and then again the mental health counseling. And then our buddy Mark Goldstein over
Love
with
Mark.
Blankets of Hope.
Yeah.
We also set up as part of our Hubs of Hope an Olivet bed program. So any youth in Reading and Berks County or family that's in need of beds, we get twin bed sets, a mattress, a box spring, sheets, warm blankets. Mark and Facera's have been awesome, just absolutely awesome. And we have helped over 50 families already since we started this with Mark and Facera's. And all of those programs have now morphed into what we call our hubs of hope.
Hubs of Hope. Dig it, man. Yeah, and those Mark always donates blankets for I've been doing an awesome toy drive for 2 years, and he's giving me blankets for every kid. Every kid that gets a gift gets a blanket. So Mark is definitely good people. Very, very cool dude. I need to give him a call and see what's up with Mark and get him out. So everyone, check out the website, olivetbgc.org, right? Yep. There's so many things that you can do for the community here. And you don't have to live here. You know, a lot of my buddies are in Long Island, and they would donate cash for the Awesome Toy Drive. They're just like, yo, man, here's $20, here's $40, here's $100. And, you know, the love can spread very far. You don't have to be here to help out these kids, or even in your local community. You know, take the time to help them out. Please go out there and help these kids out. So with everything that you're offering now, I know you're always thinking. You're always trying to see what's the next best thing. Do you have like this one thing or one event or one drive or whatever it is that you want to see come to fruition and accomplish at Olivet, or maybe even outside of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely one on my back burner. You know, I think our team internally knows about it, and you know, without getting too far ahead of myself, you know, obviously the pandemic and just the changes in the world definitely, you know, hit us all very hard, and may have delayed things a little bit. But what I'll say is, you know, I'm a huge sports guy, and it's not just the long balls. It's not just, you know, crunching hockey hits in the corner. It's, you know, sports taught me a lot about myself and helped shape me into the person and man I am today. And some of those, you know, life lessons that you take. So there is a long-term project that I'm sure if Chris is out there listening and when he talks to me tomorrow, you know, with everything else going on, it's I'm sure he'll chuckle a little bit about it. But you know, I really want to see in the city, you know, and the surrounding areas, we want to work on a complex. You know, we want to see something where, again, it's youth can come. And this is Olivet Boys and Girls Club of Reading and Berks County. And that's one of the big things that, you know, we welcome youth of all ages, you know, 6 to 18 and any walk of life, anywhere in Berks County. They can come to Olivet. If they need transportation, we'll figure it out. We'll get it set up. We'll work with, you know, there's so many school districts that we wanted to work with, and some we were supposed to start this year. So it's, I'm just going to say it's going to be a big sports project, but it's going to be so much more than sports. There's a lot of community people that, you know, we've talked to that want to jump in and be on board. And I think over my time and not just my professional career, but even, you know, as a youth, people you meet along the way and ideas that you see and things that come to hopefully fruition. So it's a very long-term goal for a complex that all youth can come to. And again, very, very low cost or free would be, you know, really my goal. We're here to keep youth engaged, again, to give them hope, to keep them busy and occupied with positive things, positive role models. So that's definitely something that's big for me. But, you know, we have a couple other things to get through first before we dive too deep, but definitely a big thing I'd like to see happen.
That could definitely happen. So the sports complex is going to be a killer idea. I mean, for sure. I think that's something that we can definitely do. That's something that can definitely happen. If anything, I think it would definitely happen because of Dream League. You know, and I volunteer at Dream League every Monday, which is an awesome organization that does great things for special needs kids. But there's so much land in Berks County, man. There's tons of it. There's got to be a spot we can find. There's a ton of people that I know are going to put some money towards it. And to create that would be probably one of the best things that ever happened in Berks County. And is this your idea, or has it been spoken about before Alec, the BA?
I want to say that it was a brand new idea. There may have been talks though well before my time. And I can help out with the first part. I have the land. What we need is, you know, the full vision.
So you know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I have a good idea of exactly where we would put it, and
you can purchase this, or it's available for you to inhabit?
It may already be in the Olivet family.
Oh.
So
this is definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's definitely a possibility, and you know, some of the people in the community that we know, you know, near and dear, and a lot of the local semi-professional and professional sports teams may be aware of kind of some of the preliminary talks I've had with them. But yeah, it's definitely possible because, like I said, I think we took care of one of the hardest parts on the where. Now it's the when, the how. And again, it's just another opportunity. There are so many good things going on in Berks County from all the different agencies and all the different community partners and people out there. This is just another avenue where maybe it's a little bit closer. Maybe some kids can walk who otherwise couldn't get to some of these facilities. You know, it's just another place where hopefully everyone can come and these kids can just enjoy themselves again and be kids and learn some of those, you know, life skills that you can take from sports or just organized activities. Just because it's a complex doesn't mean we can only do sports.
Right. It can do literally anything.
Yeah.
You know, because like the Dream League field at Saturday 61, it's still the inside's like an indoor soccer stadium, you know, with a rage like practice or something. So yeah, complexes are cool. I know there was a gentleman that had a similar like idea a few years ago, but never came to fruition. But definitely, I think having Olivet behind it. I mean, just all the people that are. I mean, let's face it. So many successful people have come from Boys and Girls Clubs. There's got to be a way to do this.
Yeah, and
sure.
I think it's you know, it's good and it's interesting timing. You know, we recently launched our alumni efforts through Olivet, something that, again, you know, had been talked about in the past. It's not a brand new idea, but, you know, with the help of some of our team and, you know, we've now launched it where we're getting in contact with, you know, Olivet alumni, whether it was Club 1 down at Clinton Street or, you know, even some of our recent graduates who now are in college or working full time, who still come back to volunteer their time no matter how busy they are. You know, we have that out there now, so I think there's a lot of people that can get behind it, and who would, you know, cherish the idea and would really support us. And like we talked about so many times tonight, you know, Berks County it's small, but it's very tight knit. It's very loving. It's very giving. It's very passionate. So I think if we do it right, and you know, again, it's open to everyone, and I think this could be a really neat thing. And you know, we continue to partner with our other community partners and nonprofit agencies and social work agencies, and it's just another outlet for kids to, you know, again, get out, be physically active, get that escape that maybe they otherwise wouldn't have.
Right on. No, I'm with you, man. I think that's a great idea, and you know for a fact that I am here for you guys. So whatever you need, man, we'll make it happen. That. I mean, for sure. Definitely. So, Alec, thanks for coming in, man. It's great to hear all the awesome things that Boys and Girls Club are doing right here in the area. I appreciate everything you do, my brother. I think it's, again, God's work that you're doing. So it's awesome. And I know you come from great stock. I think your parents are two of the nicest people I've ever met, for sure. And I'm envious of you guys. If you're watching, I'm definitely envious of you guys because that little hideaway you have is amazing. Jill and I talk about it all the time. So, you know, thank you once again. Much love to you and to your family, which is awesome. And I hope you come back and do it again soon, brother.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having us, Olivet. You know, our team, we really appreciate this.
Thank you, brother. You take care.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks for watching another edition of Fred Talk. Visit us online at FXVDigital.com or your favorite social networks at FXV Digital. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. For myself, Angie, and Alec, thanks a lot for watching, and don't ever forget, your Uncle Freddie loves you. Peace.